We are back. That's right. We are back for Football 101, Football 101, NFL Week in Review number 5. That's right. Week number 5 in the NFL Week in Review. I am your host. I am the Beetle. And yes, we're getting better slowly but surely, and as you notice, I'm going to say it right up front. Yes, I got my vaccination shot. I got my flu vaccination shot in this arm, and also my booster shot for COVID in this arm. So I'm double dosed. And ready to go and getting ready for the fall season throughout the holiday. So that's what I'm doing. That's a little side note for week number 5. Get your flu shots. Get your booster shot. So, yeah, Beetle's going to be real. But now I'm going to break down the games. Yes, the games. Oh, my gosh. Week number 5 is really a tell-all. Again, it's just the first quarter of the season. Now we're going in the second quarter of the season. Week number 5. It starts to really separate teams. And yes, excuse me, it's separating teams. And I'm going to start off with, and I'm going to leave, I'm just looking at the scores in the games. So much controversy, so much seriousness. But again, let me just preface this. It's still early in the season, okay? Still early in the season. And just a quick note, is those teams that get on the roll towards the final portion of the season that makes a difference. Don't forget that point. But still, we're in the first portion of the season. We just turned the corner. From now we're in the first quarter, now the second quarter, beginning in the 5th game. And I'm going to start off with the Monday night game where the Chiefs beat the Raiders 30-29. That's right, 30-29. What a fantastic game for Patty Mahomes. And the Chiefs, they squeaked out a win against the Raiders. And rightly so, they're playing at home. And Patty Mahomes and Travis Kelce getting 4 TDs. The magic of Travis Kelce always finding a way to get open. What is that about the Raiders? You know Patty Mahomes is always going to go for Kelce in the red zone, and they always leave him open. So, deservingly so, Kelce gets his 4 TDs. Let me just say, David Carr and Davante Adams, they were in a swerve. Davante had 2 TDs, rightly so. And Jacobs was running hard for the Raiders. They couldn't stop him. As a matter of fact, at halftime, I believe the first half, the Raiders were winning 20-10. And again, they were in a group. Particularly with that first touchdown to Davante, Carr and Davante, they were just eye-to-eye contact. They were ready. Yet they made stupid bonehead mistakes at the end. Raiders make bonehead mistakes at the end. And the Chiefs really had to come back after halftime. You know, they actually were down really 20-7 close to halftime if it wasn't for a stupid penalty and the long field goal. And let me just say, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck mentioned this. If it wasn't really for that crowd in Arrowhead to inspire the Chiefs to come out in the second half, that Arrowhead Stadium, again, that's home field advantage. You take advantage, and the crowd, the Kansas City crowd, got the team ready because KC was not performing in the first half. Yeah, you know, Patty Mahomes did his thing, but he couldn't move the team into touchdown area not until the second half. So again, they took advantage of the matchups, and the Raiders eased up on their defense. And for the life of me, and let me just say, Crosby for the Raiders did his best. He was making sacks. He sacked Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes. And again, if it wasn't for the Raiders' bonehead mistakes at the end, they could have pulled it out. But I give props to both teams, and quite frankly, the Raiders played well on the road, much better than I anticipated. They're 1-4 now, and the Chiefs are 4-1. But what happened? What happened at the end when Davante Adams, my boy Davante Adams, he's so frustrated. He just wants things to go right. But he has to be patient. But you know the controversy that happened to Davante Adams when he's walking off the field right at the end of the game. Some knucklehead ESPN freelance reporter, photographer got in the way of Davante Adams, and Davante shoved him down to the ground. Oh, Lord. Davante, come on. You know, even though it was a knucklehead reporter probably trying to start something, just be nice. Don't get so emotional. You're a professional. Come on, Davante. You know, yes, Football 101 follows Davante on Instagram, and, you know, he's a primetime, and then he had to leave Green Bay. So, again, it will calm down Raiders. Raiders are 1-4. It's a long season, and they still have a very winnable season, by the way, if you check out their schedule. So I'm just saying, the Beetle is just saying the Raiders are not out of it, because I do like the coach, the head coach for the Raiders. He's an expatriate, but he's from Ohio. So just look at Football 101, the magazine. Yes, I still are supporting the Raiders. David Carr just had to stop fumbling the ball. Give the ball to Davante Adams. Davante Adams, he may be suspended for this game, and the reporter is actually following a police report. So hopefully they will resolve that. The emotions are just so high with these players. Just remember, you're a professional. And let me just say a shout out to Patty Mahomes. I saw him coming to the to the game with his shades and being all serious, walking with his shiny shades in KC. Patty Mahomes is everywhere, making his commercials, his State Farm commercials, his Subway commercials. Patty Mahomes is everywhere. Again, it's a long season, y'all. Don't forget. And I even saw, and I'm going off on Kansas City. I saw Andy Reid and Patty Mahomes making a State Farm commercial. Have you checked that out? Now, Andy Reid is making commercials with Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes. Everyone's feeling good in Kansas City. Kansas City and the barbecue and the folks there, I love you, but you know that stuff gets tiring after a while. I'm just saying. And let me just say this. Guess what, Andy Reid? If you are very successful this year, I think you should step down and allow my boy, the offensive coordinator, to take your role, because he's not getting a job anywhere else. Eric Bieniemy, the brother, been waiting for a head coaching job for how many years? So Andy Reid, I'm calling out Andy Reid right now. Step down at the end of the season and allow Eric Bieniemy to be head coach, because he's not getting a head coaching job anywhere else. So let me. I spent too much on that already. So the Chiefs win 30-29. Next game. Cowboys put a hurting on the LA Rams, 22-10, 22-10, rightly so, with Cooper Rush. Backup quarterback Cooper Rush, and oh man, and the pass rush and the defense coming from the Cowboys putting a hurting on Stafford. Like I said, the Rams are a paper team, and the Cowboys defense stepped up and just controlled it. Pollard, running back Pollard, would they just come on? I know it's a two tandem with the running backs, Ezekiel Come on. But whenever you see Pollard just running, he has so much. It's a two tandem, but they're being so nice to Ezekiel. But again, the Cowboys, okay, I give him credit. And rightly so. It's that defense that makes them so powerful. And so they took control of that. And the Rams, you get what you get. Told you about the Rams. Paper team. And the NFL gave them that Super Bowl last year. So I don't feel I don't feel sorry for the Rams whatsoever. So it's even hard for me to even like a Cowboys team and Jerry Jones. You know I don't like the Cowboys, but I want them to put that hurting on the Rams. And Jalen Ramsey, I don't care. You made a play, but you still, just went for the money. See you, Jalen. Next game. Let me go. Next game. What's my next game? Number three. Oh. Well. The Colts beat the Broncos. Russell Wilson. It's so sad. Let me just say, I've learned it's the first portion of the season. Let me just say, Russell Wilson. Here's what really came down. Russell Wilson looked bad, pathetic, and yeah, I said pathetic. And what I clued in was the press conference afterwards, but also I give props. It was on Prime Video. Oh, a shout out to Prime, Amazon Prime, and the crew there with Tony Gonzalez, Fitzpatrick, Sherman. They were given the real deal because they know Russell Wilson very well, and it's what Fitzpatrick said at the end of the game. He said, the former quarterback, Fitzpatrick said of Russell Wilson, he is under too much pressure right now. He's lost his confidence. Yes, Russell Wilson has lost his confidence. You can see it in his body language and everything. He's lost his confidence. Period. Great insight by Fitzgerald. Sherman, he was just going off on all. He was actually loving the interception. Let me say the interception by the Colts DB. You don't go against the number one DB still in the league. And they tested him. And I don't know what Hackett was thinking about and what Russell Wilson was thinking about when they were trying to go to their number one wide receiver, but he was locked down by the Colts' number one DB, former MVP. You don't do that. And even at the interview afterwards, the Colts DB said, "Oh, I got challenged, and they're not going to do that to me." Rightly so. But it was, let me just say, Tony Gonzalez said the insight to me that really made sense about Russell Wilson. And believe me, it was a bad stinking of a game. Horrible game. Thursday night game. Al Michaels. And and my boy from Ohio State was the color commentary, Kirk Herbstreit. But what told me the insight, and I saw Russell Wilson apologize in this press conference. He was down. He still believes in himself. He says, I've proven it all my life. He said the right thing, and trying to keep focused. New ownership for the Broncos, but it was Tony Gonzalez, crazy Tony Gonzalez, former tight end. He's all world. He's all pro. He's all Hall of Fame. But it was Tony Gonzalez and his silly self. That's the reason why he left Fox TV. Just let you know. But it was Tony Gonzalez. I'm going to get to it. No, I'm going to have to get to my scores. But this other, I'm sorry. It was Tony Gonzalez that said the most important thing about Russell Wilson. And he said, there's something going on with Russell. is deep. He has to look at himself in the mirror. There is something not wrong, but unsettling what he saw with Russell Wilson. What is it? He doesn't know. But he said he has to look at himself in the mirror and get back to playing like he used to be. And he just says that he probably is a little bit too much caught up in the hype of being Russell Wilson. Hello. He's caught up in the social media hype of being Russell Wilson. Because we know that Russell Wilson is, yeah, he's married to Ciara, and they do all this PR social media stuff. He has lost contact with what is really about playing football. Tony Gonzalez, check the tape, look at the halftime, and look at the end of the game. Tony Gonzalez called Russell Wilson out and tried to be as just nice as possible, but he just said, I have to be real, live on TV. So I give props to Tony Gonzalez, tell it like it is. So Russell Wilson, yeah, bruh, I know it's tough, but you gotta come clean. You gotta come clean, man. And it was sad, it was sad to see the Broncos fans leaving during overtime. They were leaving, Yes, I'm blowing my nose again. Sorry, I'm blowing my nose again. I'm almost there. That's the reason I got the flu shot. I'm almost there. But it's ugly in Bronco land. They have a bye week. Hopefully they can get their stuff together. But it's going to be a long year. It will be a tough year. And I just said they're a dark horse favorite. And it just takes time. And here's the thing, Russell Wilson has to put time in. It's obvious, he's not putting time in on practice. He's not putting time in on practice, and he's not coming real with the level of which Russell Wilson is. He's not the super elite. He knows that. Russell Wilson is about creativity. He's confined. He needs to come to grips with that. So again, it's not good, but it will get better. And I'm not jumping ship. Okay, the Beetle is not jumping ship from Russell Wilson and the Broncos because I'm a Broncos fan from day one. Okay, so I'm not jumping ship like everybody else and dogging out Russell Wilson to the nth degree and say, oh, what a bad deal, Seattle. Seattle knew what they were doing. No. Russell Wilson carried that Seahawks team for several years when they got rid of all their defensive players. Let's not go there. Okay, but I am still a Broncos fan through and through. Okay, that's just the Beetle. But I'm calling out Russell Wilson too, and saying you gotta look in the mirror. The man in the mirror, and even Tony Gonzalez said, yeah, it's a song from Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. And that's what you gotta do. Call him out. Tony Gonzalez is really funny. He's quirky funny. Give it to my boy Tony Gonzalez. Shout out to Tony Gonzalez again. So loved him. That's what I look at. So let me move on. Colts. Yeah, Matty Ryan. Let me just say shout out to Matty Ryan. He looked bad too. Let's call it for what it is. Matty Ice was bad, but he managed to win. And I even saw him in the locker room giving the team a pep talk. And even the brothers was like, man, we're about ready to lose this game. What are you talking about, Matty Ice? And even the owner, Ursray, was in the locker room and said, man, we're about ready to lose this. What are you talking about? It was because Russell Wilson played something. But Matty Ice is playing it. Matty Ice is playing it, y'all. But give him credit. He's a veteran. So the Colts win in a horrific game. Got the win. That's the most important. And let me just say, next game. Oh, let me get to my Falcons and Bucks. Oh, my Bucks. My Tampa Bay Bucks. They won 21-15, and it was a good win, but it was an ugly, kind of more towards the ugly side. They were actually winning 20, almost, what was it, 20-0, 21-0 in the first half. And then they allowed the Falcons. Marcus Mariota, I told you I love the Marcus Mariota. And he was getting the ball out. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball to London, the rookie wide receiver. The kid does not drop passes. So the Falcons came back really fast, made this a game. And the most controversial part of this game was the sack of Brady. The roughing the passer sack. And even Brady said in the post conference, he said, yo man, yeah, it was just like a bro hug. Even Brady kind of played it off. It was kind of like a bro hug. A Brady hug. It was kind of, he could have got caught. Good thing he did get caught for roughing the passer, but Brady kind of played it off. It was a bro hug. When you're in the league that long, you're going to get special privileges, and Brady played it off. But Brady's really pissed. Coach Todd Bowles still not satisfied. But here's the deal with the Bucs. Here it is. Brady is so pissed that he doesn't have consistency with his players. He's pissed. Rightly so. And it's coming down now. It's filtering down to one or two players on that offense. Julio Jones. Even the coach, Todd Bowles, called him out. But let me just say, Brady called him out too. Julio Jones being injured consistently. They have to sit him again and again. So he has to go with Mike Evans being a beast. Mike Evans continuing to be a beast, making catches, and Chris Godwin stepping up, making plays, and Scotty Miller coming making plays, and Russell Gage making plays. And I don't even want to talk about Cole Beasley. He should be off the dang on team. Fournette playing out of his world, out of his mind. Fournette. And again, it's about that defense. I don't know what's happening to that. The other defense, Shaq Barrett. What happened? They need a defensive pass rush. They're not getting that defensive pass rush, and the secondary is just not making plays. Antonio Winfield, his stats when Bowles ran down the stats in the post conference the day after. Antonio Winfield Jr., he's just a beast. He has like over 8 tackles. He putting rush on. He's around the ball. Antonio Winfield Jr. is such a professional. He does his homework. And it's obvious that the defense is not doing enough homework to know the tendencies. So the Bucs, fortunate to get a win there, but they're gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to step up. Okay, let me give you other games and finish with the biggest game of disappointment Giants win 27-22, took care of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers overseas, and Saquon and Coach Dabo did a great job. Giants creativity, loved it. Win 27-22. Bills crushed the Steelers 38-3. So much for rookie Pickett and Josh Allen and the boys. They just look phenomenal. 38-3. Wow, Mike Tomlin, why you throw the rookie out there? Makes him feel bad. But that's life in the NFL. Bills looking so impressive. Oh yes, the Bills haven't even gotten into their stride. They are literally scary. Look out for the Bills by the end of the season. Chargers beat the Browns. Fortunately, with a missed field goal by the Browns, head coach Staley for the Chargers, he went home, came home. He's from Ohio, y'all. Love it. Give it up. Coach Staley had all his family there, He's from John Carroll University. Really nice to see that piece that I saw on him. He's just a down-home Ohio kid. Shout out to the Buckeye world. Yeah, we always love coaches coming from the Midwest, from Ohio. So Chargers win 30-28. Texans beat the Jaguars. Texans came to Jaguars and beat Lawrence. Let me just say, ETN is looking good for the Jaguars. It's just that the Jaguars made some bonehead mistakes, and Texas just came to play. They win 13-6. Bears lose to the Vikings 29-22. Yes, Kirk Cousins still doing it. Managed a great win. What can I say? Vikings are still very impressive. They're still elevated. They play well enough to beat the other team. They're not exceptional, but they play well enough to beat the opposing team. Next game, Saints beat Seahawks 39-32. It was Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill doing his thing. Taysom Hill doing his thing against the Seahawks. They win 39-32. The Jets beat my Dolphins. The Jets beat my Dolphins 40-17. It was actually a close game at halftime. It was, I think the Dolphins were, it was almost tied. But it was a very close game at halftime. And then the Dolphins made mistakes. Let me just say, Tua did not start. Teddy Bridgewater started. In the very first series of downs, Teddy Bridgewater gets knocked out. Concussion. Bonehead. And they had to go with the third-string quarterback when he did a great job, by the way. It's just that the defense faltered in the second half and mistakes in the second half. But the Dolphins really came to play. And give it up to coach for the Jets, Saleh. He had them going. Yes, we're back. Sorry about that. A video snafu, but we're still back. Talking about the Dolphins and Jets, and I was going to say about Sauce Gardner. Yes, he's got his first interception against the Dolphins, third-string quarterback. So there you go, Sauce Gardner. You get your first interception. Jets win 40-17. Let me get through the rest of the scores. Titans 21-17 over the Commanders, and yes, as Ron Rivera says, Wentz. We got to deal something with the quarterback. Big controversy after the game, but it is about Wentz. Titans win 21-17. 49ers beat the Panthers 37-15. And yes, Matt Rule is fired out of here. Like I said in Football 101, Matt Rule was a disaster for Carolina. A disaster. And Deebo Samuel, and Garoppolo and the boys, yeah, they took it to the Panthers, turned it up a notch. 37-15, got rid of Matt Rule. Thank you. And moving on to the Eagles, managed to win against the Cardinals. It was ugly. It was Jalen Hurts got his win. It was ugly, but they managed to get that win 20-17 over the Cardinals. And the Bengals lose to the Ravens 17-19. Ravens with Justin Tucker winning with the field goal at the end. It was classic, but it wasn't that thrilling of a game. Again, Lamar Jackson just has to prove his overall performance. Joe Burrow did his thing, but really not in the groove yet. Jamar Chase, he has to get on the road. They don't know what to do with Jamar, trying to get him the ball. Not a good game for the Bengals. They lose 19-17. And the final game that I want to mention, the Patriots beat my Detroit Lions 29-0. 29-0, and Dan Campbell is under the hot seat. I've been looking at as many of the local Detroit commentary from Herman Moore, former Detroit player, and Alomas Brown, former Detroit player. Again, it's looking really, really bad. And Dan Campbell he's saying the same thing at the end of the press conference. It's on me. Well, the Lions did not have they're going against Bailey Zappi. and the defense couldn't even get to Bailey Zappi. Aaron Glenn, defense coordinator, come on. Next coach there right now is Deuce Staley, assistant head coach. But it doesn't look like, again, the Lions still have a chance to turn it around, but the players have given up. There's no philosophy from Dan Campbell. All the rah-rah stuff. Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah, the Beetle drank the Kool-Aid during the preseason and HBO Hard Knocks. And I really like the change of culture. But Dan Campbell obviously doesn't have a philosophy on offense or defense. The Jared Goff throwing up the interceptions, fumbling the ball. I mean, they were just lack of, and the body language, everything was just so bad. The Lions fan base, he's lost his fan base. They don't know which way to turn. Should they bring in a name coach, or should they bring in another player coach? Right now, you stick with Dan Campbell just a little bit more. Get a player's coach, and then they don't know which way to go. And right now, I don't even know which way they should go. The name coming out was Jim Harbaugh. Do not go with Jim Harbaugh at University of Michigan. Please don't. And by the way, I just mentioned college. Texas A&M gave Alabama gave a thing or two, and they almost pulled out that game. Yes, I'm still supporting Texas A&M over Bama anytime. Number 1 team in the nation right now, University of Georgia. 2, Ohio State. 3, Bama. So, yeah, SEC teams are still doing well. Big Ten teams are doing well as well. And give it up to the Pac-12. So, again, the final snippet of week number 5. The Lions. So disappointing. Oh, man. I just feel for the Lions. And, again, I'm eating my words. Yes, the Beetle will say I'm eating my words about the Lions. I said the Lions have started a new chapter. The coaches there are just not. The players are disappointed. Yeah, I missed on that, but hey, I was all in. I used to live in Detroit. I just want a change of leadership and some new attitude. And they got players. They just need to draft more players. Aiden Hutchinson is doing his thing, defensive end, but it really comes from the head coach, Dan Campbell. He's just perplexed. You look at that press conference afterwards. He was just discombobulated. He was just so disappointed. It was sad, really sad to see. It was sad. So again, that's how I end Football 101. It was almost a sad day. Wow. But we will be back. The season's still early. We're working out the technical difficulties. Hopefully this will get together post-production. But the Beetle is back. We still hanging in there. It's Football 101. We staying for the long haul. And we staying true to Football 101, the magazine, regardless of what happened in week number 5. This is the Beetle. This is Football 101. Let's continue to do